Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name's Harrison and today we have an Aston Martin V8 Vantage in stock which we're going to review. We're going to talk about the interior, the exterior, the way the car drives. So let's jump straight in. Like to drive a V8 Vantage. First of all, it's an experience like no other. The way that they've modernised the technology from the previous generation Vantages to these is just insane. The car hugs the road so well. You can adapt the suspension to stiffen it or to soften it if you want to be in comfort. When you put it in sport mode, the gear changes sharpen up, the throttle response it has increased. The steering's light but nimble. I mean, today's a bit of a wet day, so the traction control kicks in a little bit, which gives you that bit more reassurance. I don't know if you can hear the sound, and that's another thing. The sound of this engine that AMG have produced. This car, honestly, guys, if you're looking for something that looks the part, sounds the part and drives the part, then this car is honestly a great contender, because just everything from stepping in the car with the doors that come out at an angle, from the cockpit that looks like you're in a fighter jet, just everything. This car is set up so well. Honestly, I'm so impressed. We review Porsches a lot, but this is just something else, honestly. I've never driven anything like this. Aston Martin never failed to disappoint. If you have a look at this Vantage here, you can see where they've considered the old V8 Vantage into the new one. However, this just looks on a whole new level. It's more futuristic, it's got more lines on it, it just looks more class. I mean, I don't need to explain that, you can see for yourselves, but we're going to dive straight in and talk about the spec that this car actually has. So, starting with the roof, this is an optional extra of the body colour that the first owners put on it. Around the windows is a chrome sort of trimming that goes around the windows, which is another optional extra. Moving around to the front bonnet here, these honeycomb mesh sort of grills here on the front don't normally come standard. They have put them in there, so I mean, it just looks, I mean, it does actually help the car with the cooling, but it just looks the piece as well. Now, one of the main features on an Aston Martin V8 Vantage is the front grille here. Now, when you design this Aston on the website, you can actually decide of two different front grilles. The other one looks more like the traditional or the more older V8 Vantage, should I say. However, the first owner has gone for the new sort of design, and it's finished in the graphite, which is another optional extra. This also leads round to the side of the car and the rear, as we will show you as we go further on into the video. On this Aston, it's got the enamel wing badging, which means that it's sort of chrome. There is an optional extra of a black, however the first owner went for this. So this Aston is finished in the electric blue metallic paint. It's a colour that I'm looking at it thinking, wow, you would spot this from a mile away if you saw this driving down the road. It's an absolutely gorgeous colour finished on this Aston. It's also got these 20-inch 10-spoke cast alloy wheels, which are finished in like the gunmetal grey. A lovely feature, it matches the graphite that goes around the car as well. Now, a feature that really sets the Aston Martin off is these beautiful inlets here on the side, where basically they've got a small mesh inside which cools the brakes, and if you look along the side, it makes the lines on the car stand out more than what they already do. It's a lovely design feature. And also these wind mirrors, now they extend quite far out. These do have the blind spot assist as well, which is another optional extra. However, the design of it just goes so well with the car. It's such a small little feature. Small little things like this can really make the car pop and make it just stand out compared to any other car on the roads. So Lamborghini have scissor doors, Mercedes used gull wing doors, but Aston Martin used as what they call Swan Doors. Now what that means is, when they open, they ever so slightly lift up to look like wings, which reflects really nicely with the Aston Martin badge. And what Aston Martin like to get across to their customers, the fact that their cars are elegant, they're classy, the design features on them you won't see on any other car on the roads today. So, facts and figures about the V8 Vantage. This makes 503 brake horsepower alongside 685 Nm of torque. Now, 0 to 60 on one of these is 3.6 seconds, which is incredible considering it's rear wheel drive and, you know, a big V8 engine. Talking of the engine, it has a 4 litre bi-turbo V8, which is produced by AMG Mercedes, which they put in this as well. So the sounds are very familiar, but this does have its own unique little twist, which is nice. This car reaches a top speed of 195 miles per hour, which is pretty impressive. And the overall weight of V8 Vantage is around 1,500 kilograms, which is not bad considering what you get on board the car with all the different specs. And you know, it's not your lightweight supercar. It's you can cruise along, but you can also put the car in track mode, and it'll perform as if you're, you know, racing it around Silverstone or wherever you may be. So Aston Martin give you a wide range of optional extras to choose from. Starting off with this one, this car has the Sports Seats Plus, which are heated. You can also get the ventilated seats as well. Moving on to the steering wheel, as I mentioned earlier, the driving of this car and the steering wheel, it goes hand in hand with a race car. Now the design of it is, it's got the flat bottom here, and it's also almost flat-sided as well. It's a nice touch that Aston Martin do. It's an optional extra as well. You've also got these massive paddles which control your 8-speed automatic gearbox, which is a really aggressive gearbox, and it goes so well with the 4 litre V8 engine. Sitting in the cockpit of this car, it feels like I'm in like an F-16 fighter jet. The way the dials are all pointed at you, and the way that they've designed it in like a triangle here with the steering wheel and the dials up here, it honestly, it gives you that feeling every time you get in it. You're not going to get bored of sitting in one of these. You've got a nice touchpad here so you can control your interface as well. You've got a number of different buttons to choose from. You can phone people, your sat nav, you've got your SOS, your parking sensors. This car also does come with a 360 camera, so whilst you're reversing you have a good view around you, alongside a rear camera as well, so you've got the best of both worlds. You don't want to scratch something like this, so it's best that you have that as well. So next to these electrically adjustable seats, you've also got this gloss black trimming, which you can also get in carbon fibre as well. Moving back up to the steering wheel, we've got buttons here which control the setting of the car. You can put it in Sport, Sport Plus, or even track mode. Alongside the chassis as well, you can stiffen the suspension and put it into track mode as well. Once you put it into Sport, the exhaust valves open up and you can hear that V8 engine roar out the back, and honestly, it is one of the best sounds you'll ever hear. What it's like to drive a V8 Vantage. First of all, it's an experience like no other. The way that they've modernised the technology from the previous generation Vantages to these is just insane. The car hugs the road so well. You can adapt the suspension to stiffen it or to soften it if you want to be in comfort. When you put it in sport mode, the gear changes sharpen up, the throttle response it has increased. The steering is light but nimble. I mean, today's a bit of a wet day, so the traction control kicks in a little bit, which gives you that bit more reassurance. I don't know if you can hear the sound, and that's another thing. The sound of this engine that AMG have produced. This car, honestly, guys, if you're looking for something that looks the part, sounds the part, and drives the part, then this car is honestly a great contender, because just everything from stepping in the car with the doors that come out at an angle, from the cockpit that looks like you're in a fighter jet, just everything. This car is set up so well. Honestly, I'm so impressed. We review Porsches a lot, but this is just something else, honestly. I've never driven anything like this. The design aspects that Aston Martin use on their V8 Vantage is really something out of this world. As you can see here from the rear lip curves down here and the rear diffuser curves as well here, and it just all fits in so nicely. You've got a nice line as well that runs across the rear bumper, as you'd call it, but it's just so aggressive. You've got these little honeycomb sort of mesh here as well, and it's just all these little details that really makes a difference. Obviously this helps with aerodynamics as well, but I mean on everyday cars you will not see something this aggressive. And if you move around to the side, carrying on with the lines of the car, it's got this sweeping line that crosses from the rear, literally from the very back of the car, all the way across, all across these Swan Doors, all the way to this large, very large bonnet, I'll say. And yeah, just like I said, Aston Martin really focus on the details and the way the car will look in the sense of its class and elegance, and they do a really good job. So guys, if you did enjoy the video, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, press the notification bell so you can see future videos. Comment down below what you thought. If you're interested in the car, let us know. Our website details will be down below, and we will see you in the next one.